This is the RACER H2O podcast.
It's time to drop that flag!
Go! Come on. Right there, go down! Cut it tight! Stay on the tractor, baby! Bring it home!
And now here's your host.
Free wide battle for the lead, shoulder to shoulder, going into turn one, rips that boot around!
Jared Rosberg.
Yeah! What's up, troops? It's your old pal Jared. Welcome to the first RACER H2O podcast for 2022. Man, do we have a huge season coming up for you fans. 16 events being brought to you either through our national television, which we'll talk about all the networks here later on in the podcast, or our live streaming productions being seen around the world on YouTube and Facebook. Huge year 2022 coming up. We're glad you're here along for the ride. Coming up on this week's show, our first event is next weekend in beautiful Bradenton, Florida. We get out of this horrible weather we're having here outside of the RMG Sports RACER H2O studios. Raining, snowing. God, I need me some vitamin FLA, and we're going to get it. RACER H2O crew heading to the Bradenton Area River Regatta to cover Powerboat Super League racing and all the other stuff going on. What other stuff is going on? We're going to find out here shortly. Michael Dongili from ISM USA, the event marketing company that handles everything here in Bradenton, standing by on the RMG Sports RACER H2O hotline. He's going to answer all of our questions about what's going on in Bradenton. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we have as far as media in 2022. If you haven't seen our schedule, it's ready and waiting for you at racerh2o.com. Complete schedule of national television and our live streaming. And I'm going to go over all the networks we're going to be on so you know where to tune in on your television, on your computer, on your laptop, on your phone. I mean, we are everywhere, troops, and I mean everywhere. 16 events coming up. Just think of that, fans. 2020, we had 0. Here we are just 2 years later, up to 16 events, and that number might be going up. We've got hydro drags, we've got hydroplanes, we've got tunnel boats, we've got drag boats. Might we get some jet skis on there? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Always looking. But a big year coming up, and it all kicks off in Bradenton next weekend. Michael Dongili standing by on the line. We're going to go to him in just 15 seconds, fans. Don't move. This is the RACER H2O podcast.
Get up-to-the-minute watercraft racing news and fantastic bonus content by joining RACER H2O on social media.
Links to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube pages are easy to find at racerh2o.com.
This is the RACER H2O podcast.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the podcast. As advertised, kicking off the 2022 racing season next weekend in beautiful Bradenton, Florida at the Bradenton Area River Regatta. And standing by with me on the RACER H2O hotline right now from ISM USA, it's Michael Dongili. Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jared, always good to be with you, sir. Always nice to talk to you.
Well, likewise. And in full disclosure, RACER H2O's parent company, RMG, has worked with ISM USA for, God, I looked it over. It was over a decade, my friend. We've worked together on the Pittsburgh Regatta. We did some high school basketball tournaments on the sports front. We've been working together for a long time, and I got to tell you, it's great to be working with you again, and especially because I look out my window and it's pouring rain. It's going to start to freeze any minute now here outside of Pittsburgh. So anytime I can get to Florida in February, brother, we're going to take it, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. Coming to you from Pittsburgh as well, born and raised here. Anytime I get a chance to go south for the winter, man, I'm on it. And especially when we've got days like today where we're going through freezing rain to snow. I can't get there soon enough. So.
Well, they don't have to deal with that down in Florida, and we work together at the regatta here in the Pittsburgh area, the Three Rivers Regatta, and but you guys, the the event ran its course with you and you moved down south or moved your services down south, and lo and behold, a regatta pops up in Bradenton, Florida. Tell the fans out there the history behind this event. Where did it come from? How did it get started? And I mean, you guys have been doing this several years now.
Yeah, this is actually the 7th year for the event, and the history behind it is rather simple. You had administrators there, officials there who had an idea, were familiar with the Pittsburgh Three Rivers Regatta, which, as you know, during the course of our time anyway, was the largest inland regatta in the United States, and certainly the top race venue for powerboat Super League and powerboat racing in general in terms of crowd and spectator support. So, and some of the officials actually had ties to Pittsburgh, and they were just finishing a huge, what they call river walk project there along the Manatee River. And one of those individuals, Elliot Felcione, who runs the Tourism Bureau in Bradenton and has Pittsburgh roots, is from Pittsburgh originally, said, I think it would be a great idea to do a similar type regatta here to launch the river walk and actually hopefully in perpetuity, or at least for a little bit of time, as a grandstand and mainstay event for the area and for the region. So he had a vision for doing that, but he also had some familiarity with how popular and well received the regatta here in Pittsburgh was, and thought that the climate was right. Obviously, the water was perfect, the sight lines were spectacular, and who doesn't want to come to Florida, especially, as I say, if you're living up north. So that's kind of how it all got started. And as you know, my business partner Mike Fetchko and I, Mike runs ISM USA, which is the event manager for this regatta. We went down there and took a look as they were completing the actual river walk, and we said, we just couldn't believe it. I mean, we thought sightlines here in Pittsburgh were fantastic from the North Shore where we used to do the event, but right there, they are, you're pretty much right on top of all the action. And there's an incredible mile-long bridge that connects both Bradenton and Palmetto, because the event embraces and encompasses both cities. And that also provided an incredible sight line for particularly boat racing along the Manatee River. So, one thing led to another, and we kind of came to terms contractually, and lo and behold, we're 7 years in, and it's just done nothing but grow and become more and more popular. So we're real excited after a little bit of a leave from last year due to, as everybody knows, all the restrictions that resulted from COVID, getting back to relaunching the event, and you may want to call it, and getting started all over again. So we're real excited to get back to Florida here in 2022.
And you mentioned restarting the event. How hard was it to restart the event? Because let's face it, across America, events had to shut down. Some of them are popping back up. Some of them are struggling. How, what were some of the hurdles you had to deal with to get it going again in 2022?
Well, primarily it was really trusting the leaders there to say, hey, I think, and Florida has been kind of on the precipice of all the states of actually kind of going against the flow a little bit in terms of allowing people to come back and gather and resuming life as, for lack of a better word, normal than a lot of other states. And without going into all the politics of it, it was just really a combination of the fact that we are outdoors, which makes it a lot easier in terms of holding an event of this scale and size. But also, making sure that a lot of the suppliers and vendors, this industry overall has been really hurt by not being able to perform, for lack of a better word, and do the events that they've done for years and past. And and people just in and of themselves not being able to participate, either because they've been ill or the fear of getting ill. So that a lot of that subsided. We found that people also were like, hey, if the right precautions are taken, and we certainly, do that. I mean, we will comply with whatever officials tell us we need to comply with. We found that people were anxious and eager to get started again. And a lot of our partners were also willing to do that as well. So all in all, it just took a lot of cooperation and a lot of aggressiveness to say, let's give it a shot and see where we go. So we feel that the turnout is going to be as spectacular as it was prior to all this happening, and we're real excited to see that happen again.
You say your partners are eager, and I'm sure that Sam and Sharon Weiner, owners of Powerboat Super League, certainly have to be eager to get back on the water. I mean, there was some racing last year, but they'll be back on the Manatee River. They'll have their Formula 2 class out there again, fans. And I spoke with Dustin Terry, who won in 2019, and unfortunately his boat won't be together in time. So we will not have a repeat winner for the Formula 2 class. So there will be a new winner coming up. So you want to check that out. And also, Michael, there's some new stuff happening on the water. Powerboat Super League bringing a new class of boats, the Formula Lights, correct?
Yeah, the SST 45s, the Lights. We're kind of excited about that because we've never had them as a classification in Bradenton or anywhere else where we've done Super League racing. So, I'm anxious myself to see how well they navigate the waters of the Manatee. Which, with the openness down there, not like it was here in Pittsburgh, as you're familiar with, Jared, where, there's a lot of other things that need to be considered when you're racing in Florida, mainly the aquatic wildlife and the plant life that is there. And, some of the speed zones that are in place. We don't normally or didn't normally have to deal with that here in places like Pittsburgh or other areas where, that isn't really much of a concern. But in Florida, it is. The openness of where we are. In addition, there is always the potential for a lot of chop with wind down there. So, but the fans, I will have to say this, I don't think we've been in a venue, Pittsburgh included, where racing has been more appreciated than we have been in Bradenton, Florida. I think it's just by nature, with the fact that there's so many boats there all together and so many people familiar with, year round being on the water, that, they're incredibly excited. And this particular race, especially at the F2 level, has supplanted Pittsburgh as the largest race in the country right now. So we're quite proud of that and pleased with that as well.
Well, we can't wait to show all the fans on our national TV coverage of the event. RACER H2O will be there with cameras showcasing the event to our over 200 million households. 11 networks were on in 2022, and we can't wait to see those crowds 3 deep all across the Green Bridge. My guest is Michael Dongili from ISM USA in the Bradenton Area River Regatta. But there's more going on the Manatee River, Michael, than just powerboat racing. We have the Destroyer coming to town.
Oh, yeah. Kristen, the Destroyer Smoyer, unbelievable. World Ladies Champion, flyboard. I mean, she is just phenomenal. I mean, she does things up in the air that you and I can't even conceive, nor at our ages would probably ever try.
Try, maybe, survive, doubtful. So.
Yeah, for sure. I'm certainly in that category. And, she's joined by Mike Thrasher, who is the best that there is on the water jetpack. So, I think that kind of just those two people alone, along with Powerboat Super League. I mean, we're bringing in the best of the best in all classifications of talent and entertainment that we have down in Bradenton, and which is what we always try to do. And it's a great event from the standpoint of it's all free, Jared, as you know. So, families come from miles around, cities around for this one-day event here in Bradenton, which has become the largest spectator event in Manatee County in just a short period of time. But yeah, they come because obviously, it's affordable. There is no charge to come down and watch, but the people that they're seeing and the performers that they're witnessing are really the top performers in their field. So they're coming down to see, quite a bit of entertainment all day long. It's a single day event starting at 10 o'clock and running right up until the grand Zambelli fireworks show that we do to cap off the evening.
Well, that's one thing that separates the ISM USA events from other events that we cover. Other events that we cover are really just racing. And that's all there is. That they might have some vendors, they might have some food trucks, things like that. They might have a band, but you guys, I mean, there's stuff going on all day long. Stunt dogs. There's a family fun zone. There's a fishing tournament for the kids going on. I mean,
exactly.
And as you said, it's all free. It's all free.
Yeah, it's all free. And we have two stages, two musical stages. One in Bradenton, along the Riverwalk there, and then the other in Palmetto. And each of them have their own day-long venue of entertainers. Starting with in Bradenton, North America's #1 ABBA tribute band, almost ABBA. And then, of course, over in Bradenton, we have the Andy Purcell band, which is country. And then he's joined by American Made and another tribute band called the Blues, Blooze Brothers, along with some local entertainers who are just up and comers that regardless of when you're there, you're going to be enjoying and seeing, just about every type of musical entertainment that you could possibly conceive. So and that happens just throughout the day. It's, every hour there's a change in the bands and just something to see and do. I mean, there's barely time to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, the bands go on at noon and it's nonstop music. Again, another thing that makes this event unique. Usually the music waits until after the boat racing's done and everybody kind of moves from the shore to the stage. But in this, it's going on from noon all the way till the end of the day, both sides jam-packed with music. In the middle, you've got boat racing. I mean, this is really setting up to be a fantastic event in Bradenton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's like I said, it's got a 7-year history now. So it has a lot of crowd support and word of mouth promotion. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. So like I said, we expect a full turnout and quite possibly, given the fact that people have been somewhat unable to get out, we could break attendance records this year. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, see what happens.
Yeah, we can't wait to see that. And, we joked before we started recording, Michael, that Bradenton is like Pittsburgh South. I mean, it's the home of the Pirates farm team, and it's a pretty popular destination for those of us that want to get out of this ridiculous weather we're having. So to see those Zambelli fireworks, Zambelli, a Pittsburgh company, very well known up here for their awesome fireworks show. I mean, it's just going to be second to none down there.
Oh yeah. It's a 12 to 15 minute show. It's, by America's first family of fireworks. I mean, if you know fireworks, Zambelli's name. And like you say, they're headquartered here in Pittsburgh with offices in Florida. So I feel like I feel like I never leave home. I feel like I'm going from my northern home to my southern home here, but it'll be a spectacular show, all choreographed to music, which is a little bit unusual. There aren't a lot of fireworks shows at all there that have choreographed music to them. So that just adds a lot to the flavor of the entire show. And it's always an explosive performance. They bring everything out on a barge right on the river there. And it's, again, spectacular sight lines from wherever you are, whether you're on the Riverwalk or across the river in Palmetto. I mean, it's a spectacular show. So it's really just a fun way to end the evening. And, don't forget too, we've got helicopter rides too that people can take advantage of as well, Jared. And that's always a fun thing to do. Get a 5-minute helicopter ride around the entire venue. And, people, if you're really into boats, we also have the vintage powerboat village. And that's some of the old wooden Revo powerboats that they don't race while they're there. They're just on display. But I'll tell you, if you're a fan of boats, you definitely want to stop by and see these and get your picture taken next to one, because they are incredibly impressive, and they're all wood, not unlike these boats that we have today. So yeah, stop by and you want to see that as well. It'll be there all day too.
Right. A lot of those vintage boats, beautiful design, handmade boats, not coming out of a factory. They're all made in a garage or a barn somewhere, and they love bringing them out and showing them off. But we're kicking off 2022, fans, with what could be the biggest event of the year, the first OPC race, the first race on the APBA's Outboard Performance Craft category schedule for 2022. The website is BradentonAreaRegatta.com. It's all happening next weekend, February 12th. Get there early, get your spot, because, man, it's going to be packed. The Bradenton Area River Regatta. We can't wait. Again, Racer H2O will be there with our national TV coverage. We'll have cameras all over the place, cameras all over the boats, making a lot of people famous. Michael Dongili has been our guest. Michael, thank you so much for the time. Can't wait to see you in Florida next weekend.
Jared, that's my sentiments exactly. Next time I see you, it'll be in the sun, and I can't wait to do so.
I can't wait to get a sunburn, my friend. We'll see you. All
right, take care.
All right, thanks. Once again, we thank Michael Dongili for being our guest on the podcast, giving us all that great scoop on next weekend's Bradenton Area River Regatta. Can't wait. Coming up on the podcast, we're going to talk about 2022, what Racer H2O is going to be up to. 16 events, guys. A lot of stuff happening, making a lot of people famous. So get the scoop on 2022. Stick around. We're coming back to the podcast in just 15 seconds.
RacerH2O.com is the place to go to find easy-to-use links to our social media. Watch, read, listen to, and enjoy our content on demand for free on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and RacerH2O.com.
You're listening to the Racer H2O podcast.
All right, fans, welcome back to the podcast. Second segment here, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Racer H2O in 2022. Hey, I got a quick question for you. It's going to sound creepy, but what are you wearing right now? What are you wearing? You should be wearing Racer H2O gear. That's what you should be wearing. Get to RacerH2O.com and get you some of our new merch. We've got our hats. You've seen the crews wearing them. They're very popular. People love them. Two kinds of caps. We've got our mesh cap. We've got our trucker's cap. We've got our koozies. But we've also got a ton of new merch, fans. T-shirts, hoodies. I have a pint glass at home with the Racer H2O logo on it. I've got a coffee mug with the Racer H2O logo on it. Man, we've got so much merch. A great gift idea for any holiday out there. However, I know Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Guys, I don't know if you want to, I mean, hey, no, I'm not going to turn you away, but maybe step up your game a little bit. But hey, she might love a Racer H2O t-shirt or hoodie. Every penny you spend goes right back into what we're doing here, fans, trying to promote watercraft racing across the United States. Let's talk about our national TV coverage. And everybody's wondering, what do you mean by national TV coverage? Well, let me tell you. We are on, for 2022, Racer H2O's half-hour television coverage of Bradenton, the 4 Branson events, and the Guntersville Lake Hydro Fest. As of right now, we still have some proposals out there, still talking to some people, but as of right now, we have 6 episodes of our 2022 show going to be on 11 sports networks, 2 national networks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 regional sports networks. Our national partners, BN Sports Extra and FTF Sports. By the way, all this is at RacerH2O.com. You can see the map. You can see all the networks we're going to be on. But those 2 are new streaming networks. Well, BN's been around for a while. FTF, they've both been around for a little while, but they're on streaming platforms. So if you have a Roku and you go to the Roku channel and you have all those free streaming networks that they have on there, you can watch Racer H2O on there. You can watch Racer H2O on their websites where their channels are streaming live 24/7. And that goes across the United States, fans. So we're on 2 national networks Racer H2O will be seen New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, D.C., Atlanta. So we're really stepping up our game in 2022. Our regional networks who've been the backbone of what we're doing. Bally Sports Southeast used to be Fox Sports Southeast. Now it's Bally Sports Southeast, Mid-Atlantic Sports Network, New England Sports Network, Altitude out there in Denver and in the Rocky Mountains, Root Sports Northwest. We get out to Alaska. A special hello to all of our friends listening in Alaska. We hope you enjoy the show on Root Sports Northwest. And then AT&T Sportsnet, used to be Fox Sportsnet, used to be Root Sports in Pittsburgh. The first regional sports network we ever worked with, and they've stuck with us for all these years. You'll be able to watch us on AT&T Sportsnet Pittsburgh, Southwest, Rocky Mountain, Las Vegas. Man, like I said, we are stepping it up in 2022. And it still blows my mind that 2 years ago we had no work, no events. 2 years later, we're coming out of this mess, both barrels blazing, ready to rock and roll. And, of course, we kick everything off on the 12th with our coverage of the 2022 Bradenton area River Regatta, Powerboat Super League racing there. So lots happening. Over 200 million households reached. Oh, and by the way, everything we do, and you know this, fans, is available on our YouTube channel. So if you're watching us on YouTube, hello. Please click that subscribe button. If you're watching us on Facebook, click that like button. Follow us. Share this link with everybody you know. And watch for content coming, man. We always do All Access Pass. We always do our Boss Footy. We're taking a ton of GoPros down to Bradenton. Can't wait to get some new action for 2022. So all kinds of stuff happening. Got some new events for this year, fans, especially on our live streaming. I mean, hey, can't say enough thanks to David Carroll and everybody with the Southern Drag Boat Association. Had a great time with them in 21. They brought us back to live stream every one of their events in 2022. So we'll be making a lot of trips to Texas and wrapping things up at Firebird Lake at Wild Horse Pass in Chandler, Arizona at the end of the year. Mikey Young, my brother from another mother, he's going to be having our live stream his hydro drags. That's the second event. We take a month off in March, but then we're back at it in April for his national championship for the hydro drags in Tavares, Florida. So we have drag boats, we've got hydro drags, and then we've got the Hydroplane Racing League. Our friends from up in Canada are back at it again this year. We're going to be in North Tonawanda, New York, covering the feature events via our live stream. So all kinds of stuff going on, fans. I don't want to keep you on the podcast any longer. We have a ton of stuff. You've got to follow us on social media. We're always putting new information out, all kinds of stuff. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Getting ready to wrap things up here, fans. We got to get up there and start packing, getting all these cameras ready to go. We thank you so much for listening. We thank Michael Dongili from ISM USA and the Bradenton Area River Regatta for taking the time to discuss the regatta with us. And most importantly, fans, we thank you for your time. So, hey, I'm your old pal, Jared. Thanks for listening. We've got some pretty cool stuff coming up this year, guys, and I hope you enjoy it. So make sure you follow us and give this podcast a like you would, too. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the RACER H2O podcast.